another good day in parking, you know. So today was another grad night day, right? And let me just situate that. Today's another grad night day, and I'll tell you, today I feel like there's more stuff to talk about than normal, because I met a lot of new faces today, actually. Like, I wasn't really expecting it, because when I started, right, first thing I did is I went to Catella booth, right, which is where you just hang out by yourself, and you just, I don't know, watch, buses come through, right? It's not an eventful thing, right? So I was by myself, right? And I thought it was gonna be a boring day, just because it kind of started off a bit boring. Nobody's there. All right, perfect. Didn't really start off interesting, so I didn't think much of this today. But I did get one thing done really quick before I go on my tangent, right? So what I like is that they added like a drawing pad, basically, like a no paper pad, and you could, like, there's like a pen and everything, right? Very bougie stuff, right? We're 1%ers over here, so like no pad that you could like draw stuff on, write stuff down. One thing I am happy is that during that 2 hours, I used like a good chunk of it as like a brainstorming session. So there's a board game called Summoner Wars, and in Summoner Wars, it's like a turn-based game where it's like different phases, like summon phase, move phase, event phase, attack phase. Like, there's different phases, and it's basically like a 2-player strategic card game. That's like the general idea, right? So I was thinking about how I should do card effects, because I have a lot of it done, but I just need to add this one thing, and then I could start like getting to like the details, or trying to flesh out more structure regarding converting it to multiplayer, right? So today, while I was in Catella booth, I was able to hammer out an idea of like how I would do card effects, basically. So just to be very like brief, right? I used to be a gameplay engineer at Take-Two Interactive, the 5th largest game studio in the US. How I managed that was YouTube. I really enjoy game programming. I really enjoy it. It's one of my favorite things. And because of that, right, I built so many freaking game mechanics that when I applied, they gave me a chance, and I outworked the guy that was supposed to get it. The guy was supposed to go was like a junior in computer science, right? He knew his things, he knew his stuff, right? But I got it over him, and I did learn a lot. That guy could tell you what I don't know, what's a computer science question, right? That guy could tell you what a pointer is in reference to arrays, right? I can't tell you that. That guy could tell you what garbage collection is in reference to like memory or heap allocation. I can't tell you that. What I can tell you is how to build a mean gameplay mechanic. So when I applied, right, they took in the fact that I know Unity inside out. I know how to make game mechanics. So basically, right, I used to be a gameplay engineer, very good at it, right? Used to be a professional. One day I'll talk more about that, but my lights on. But so I was basically hammering home the how I should handle card effects, because again, just to put you on programming brain for a second, right? Let's say that we do a basic card effect, right? In your draw step, if this is injured, draw one card, right? If you're doing programming wise, you have to do like get the step, right? If this is in your draw phase, right? That's one condition. If this is injured, it's another condition. Then you have to actually affect, which is like draw one card, right? That's generally what you want to do. But the question is, what's the most efficient way to do that makes so you could expand upon it? So this things you have like abstract classes, which is basically like, imagine I make a ton of card effects, right? And I know each card effect I want to check for conditions, right? I make a child of an abstract class, so that way it's easier to access from other scripts, and I could use it as a generic. That doesn't mean anything to like 80% of the people out there. But basically what I was looking at how I'm gonna do card effects, and to give you a general rundown, not that this is entertaining or anything, right? I came upon this idea, which is the game manager is gonna have a collection of card effects as a script, right? You have a script called card effects, and all it's gonna do is hold the different effects for cards, right? Now when a card is spawned, it's gonna go to the game manager to get me this script, right, from the list, and it's gonna be a card effect, right? It's gonna add that script to the newly spawned unit, the newly spawned game object, right? And that script is gonna be a child of a parent abstract class, because I could force it to have check for condition, conditionality 1, right? Once I have that, again, this has to do with generics. I could say every time I'm in the draw phase, which I use a state pattern for, I could say, hey, check all the cards and check for their conditions, right? And I could do check condition for their card effect. And what happens is, since you're using card effect parent, you can check for that parent, and then it guarantees that the child which your card is going to have, that's going to have that specific function. So you call it generic check activation, and then whatever card that you're working with, right, card effect that you're working with, it's going to have a check activation. So you could call it, because you're making it a parent of the abstract class. It's a general idea, right? And what that allows me to do is, really quick, I'll just say this, right? I define myself as this, right? Because I feel like I'm spreading a lot of man, this guy's really good, right? He knows his stuff. Hear my mom talking about this, right? I think I am one of the best hobbyist programmers you could find, right? I think I'm top tier. I think if you're looking at a hobby programmer to be on your project, I think I am the best of the best, right? But if you want to bring a professional programmer, right, I am like the low tier professional programmer, right? So just keep that in mind, right? I sound like I know my stuff because I do, but it's two different worlds between professional programmer and hobby programmer. I'm the best of the hobbyist. I'm the worst of the professionals. Having said that, right, that's essentially what I have for card effects. And the reason why you do it, right, is it makes it easier scripting wise. Because you want this all to be like sustainable, and you want it to apply to all. Like, I'll give you an example, right? The way I used to code was complete spaghetti, like it wasn't readable, it wasn't practical, things weren't grouped together properly. I'd copy and paste code where it didn't need to be when I could just call a singular function, right? I did all those mistakes, right? The reason I do what I do now currently is because it's way readable. I just started reading my game project literally like a week ago after taking like 7 months off, 8 months off. And within like 2 days of just reading it every once in a while, I was able to understand very much what I was going for. You know, understand, I'm up to speed basically, you know. So how you architect it is extraordinarily important. Having said that, right, to throw all that away, because that's not the point of what I'm talking about, right? I was productive in Kotelebu, right? That's to say all that, right? I was productive in the booth today. We got a lot of stuff done. I made a new game mechanic for Summoner Wars, which is pretty nice. I'm adding the effect of tokens. So, you know, it's basically normal Summoner Wars, but like meified, like the cards that I would want to see. It also adds 3 new game mechanics, which change it up just enough where it's a bit different now, and it gives you different choices. But anyway, that's enough of that. So I was able to talk to a lot of new people today, and it's interesting because this is something I mentioned in a couple videos, that I did, in the past, which is that you gotta get used to the fact that there are A squad members, right? That's what I call my favorite people, right? There are A squad members that you're just not ever gonna see again. It's because they, graduated college and they're moving on to the actual job now. What's this guy doing? They graduate college, so they're their job now. They trade elsewhere, so